The Great Gatsby showcases the roaring 20s on the Upper East Side of New York. People from West and East Egg and the Valley of Ashes all meshed together and show how people interacted and behaved. Nick Carraway shows his genuine love for a man who exhibits everything he despises, and yet he believes that Gatsby is truly great. I will be discussing the very interesting relationship between Nick Carraway and Jay Gatsby. This quote is showing Nick's love for Gatsby even though he is everything that Nick despises of. Gatsby and Nick share the same affection for each other. Nick sometimes describes Gatsby as though he views him as more than just a good friend. Gatsby, on the other hand, loves Nick only as a friend and genuinely cares for his well-being. Gatsby is a mystery man that everyone knows of but hardly anyone knows personally, while Nick is involved in everyone's business and is the narrator of this story. The two met because Nick moved into the house right next to Gatsby, and sooner or later Gatsby invited him to one of his famous parties. The two became very close enough for Gatsby to even ask Nick for a favor to meet his long-lost love, Daisy. Towards the end of the novel, we see Gatsby really open up to Nick as well. He shares his last truths, and they truly connect, right before Gatsby's traumatic death. This quote shows Gatsby's true care for what Nick thinks because the two have become such great friends. Nick took Gatsby's death harder than anyone because he loved him so much. He was one of the only people that showed up to Gatsby's funeral even though he was such a generous. In conclusion, Gatsby and Nick share a mutual care for each other's well-being. However, Nick shows more affection towards Gatsby than the other way around. Nick is more willing to go out of his way for Gatsby than Gatsby is for him. Nick was so affected by Gatsby's death that afterwards, he was forever changed. Nick has a love for Gatsby while Gatsby just cares for Nick as a friend.